I'm going to start off with a little racist humor tonight. Is any racist in the audience? Yeah! Racism! All right. So, what do you get when you cross a Norwegian, a Mexican, and a Jew? You get me, Juan Knutson. Now, that makes me either Norwegian or Norwexican, depends on how you want to look at it. But I have to come clean. I'm not really Jewish, but I grew up thinking I was, because my mother would say things to me like, "What are you doing? You are gonna hurt yourself." But unfortunately, there's a lot of racism that goes on in the dog world. Have you guys noticed that? There's a lot of racism towards pit bulls and Rottweilers. I think those are some of the sweetest and most wonderful dogs I've ever met. Don't you guys agree? Yes, I think so. There's also a lot of discrimination that goes on with jobs in the dog world too. Have you guys noticed that? Like, for example, like mountain rescue has been relegated to the St. Bernard. And then you have like police dogs that all have to be German Shepherds. Then you have Dalmatians. They're the lucky ones. They get to work for the fire department and Budweiser. And then there's Beagles. I think they got the kind of crummy thing. They're the bed bug hunters of the bunch. It's kind of a bad job, but somebody's got to do it. Bed bugs. It's kind of. But the other thing. But the other thing I really don't like is the N-word. Neuter. Now, I think it's good for your pets, but for myself, not so much. But, I think most of us here have done that. We've gone to take our friend to the vet to be N-worded. And so we try and we coax them along. We say, hey, we get the Frisbee out. Hey, want to go play? Let's go. They're all, okay. They're all excited. They want to go. So you take them, get them in the car, and they think they're going to the dog park, right? No, they know the way. And they see you make that wrong turn. And they're like, son of a woman, we're going to the vet. That's what my dog would say anymore. So they see her taking him to the vet. He's all depressed. He knows what's coming. He's got his tail tucked between his legs, and he kind of walks in there, all sad and mad. And you're like, okay, buddy, go ahead, give him one last lick. But I thought there's a way you could turn this into a bright experience for the dog. And I got the inspiration from Hollywood. Anybody follow the Kardashians out in the audience? There's a few people. Now the new thing, you can give your dog a vanity sack now. Did you guys know that? No. Yes, they're called Nudicles. Google it right now. Not now, but Google it later. They're called Nudicles. So Kim Kardashian's dog Rocky was recently neutered, and she gave him Nudicles. So now he can go along, and he can be fine. He still has his doghood, I guess. So. Yes, can you believe it? But that's now the women aren't in the family are the ones with plastic implants in that household. But I thought, what would happen if you had that same sort of thing? Let's say you had a little chihuahua. Chihuahuas, you people call them. It's Mexico, they call them chihuahuas. And you took one in, you had Nudicles placed on it, but you could upsize for a few extra dollars. Then you got some tennis-sized balls, and he'd be all prancing around the street, check this out, bitches, what do you think, Well, I thought it was fun. So, I have a real shitty life. I do. I have 8 cats and a horse. So a lot of my life revolves around poop and poop removal. So the horse isn't so bad. To have a tractor to move that around, it's not so bad. But with 8 cats, we're only 1 cat short of being totally batshit crazy. We're staying at 8. That's all we're doing. So we have 8 cats, but we have a big kiddie pool for them. And it's fun. So I use a rake to clean it out. I have a shovel. It's a big operation, but my one cat really likes to slide. That's his favorite thing. He likes to slide in as he uses the litter box. The kiddie pool, the litter pool, yes, of course, it's fun. All right, good. This is all new material I wrote just for you guys tonight. And the other thing is, so my wife and I, we recently moved from Eugene. We moved here about a year ago to Bend. And I have to say the biggest difference between Eugene and Bend is the extreme lack of dog poop on the sidewalks. It's great. Eugene has sort of a laissez-poo approach to doggy dumplings around. Even the humans, they just poop wherever they want. I was out at the Saturday market a couple weeks ago, and there's a guy sitting on the courthouse steps just growling one out. And the police officer comes up and, sir, what are you doing? You can't be doing that. He's like, hey man, don't panic, it's organic. And that's the way they are, but the biggest problem in Eugene is they outlawed plastic bags. I mean, how do you pick up your dog poop with a paper sack? Has anybody tried it? Now, for one, it's usually raining in Eugene, so first you have to find a couple sticks. So the dog does its little number, then you get your paper sack out, and you fold it, and you set it down, but then it goes closed. You have to take the first stick and prop it open so it stays open. Then you get your other stick and you have to kind of knock it in there, but invariably that stick always breaks. So then you just, you don't want to look around, you got to get going because it's raining, so you kind of kick it in there. Then you got dog poo on your shoe and you have to do this little walk around to get it off your shoe. Got to find a nice grassy spot to clean it. And then you got to origami it up into a little ball. And then you have to carry it home in the rain. And, how degrading and terrible is that? It's a tough thing to have to do. Eugenians, terrible people. Much love out of living Bend. Let's hear it for Bend. Yeah. And then there's also, I think there's a depraved bunch of people, scientists, especially ornithologists. Now, have you looked at some of the birds that these ornithologists have came up with their names? I think these people haven't been laid in years. So they have like cockatoos, bush tits, and my favorite's boobies. That boobies. Who likes boobies, huh? Yeah. The black-footed ones are my favorite. So, but the thing is with boobies is they're one of the few breeds that actually does siblicide. So, the larger one will kick the other one out of the nest and kill it. But just like boobies, one's usually larger than the other, and usually takes control of the situation. It's okay. And then, any parrot owners out there? Any parrot people? No? Not one parrot person? I'm going to tell you a parrot story anyways. You might as well say yes. Yeah. Let's hear it for parrots. So, the thing with parrots is they evolved to about the mental capacity of about a 3-year-old kid. But they live for like 60, 70 years. So it's like living with a 3-year-old for your entire life. Well, my wife's aunt had a parrot. We got the pleasure of taking care of it from time to time. And the funny thing is this parrot was raised by a woman who she really enjoyed her alcoholic beverages. And she usually started about 5 in the morning, and then she went till about 3 till she passed out. But the thing was this parrot really picked up on her mannerisms and how she spoke. So a lot of things the parrot would do would say like, I'll teach you some of the things you learned. Like one of them was like, come on in, when people would knock on the door, which was kind of cute until the Jehovah's Witnesses showed up. Another one she taught was how to count. So he'd go, 1, 2, 4. Want some wine? And then he really did. His name was Tiny T. So Tiny T was this really cute little bird, but one of his favorite things, he used to like to sing Frank Sinatra songs. This is an actual song that he sang. And tell me if you guys know this one. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're a Tiny T. And it's kind of funny when you have a dog a parrot that sings like a drunk person. It's kind of experience it. And so any I'll get you guys, any Subaru owners out there? All right, yeah, there's a couple Subaru owners out there, all right. Anybody with a Labradoodle out there? No, I think Labradoodle is the stupidest name ever made up for a dog. It's terrible. I mean, just think about it. Labradoodle, it's insipid, it's silly sounding. I like Poobrador. That's a much more dignified name for a magnificent beast like a Poobrador. I mean, Labradoodle's silly. Poobrador. Now that's a magnificent name for an animal, don't you think? So people have, you know, you can see people in Bend, they have their Poobradors in the back of their Outbacks. And the thing is, so my wife and I, we wanted to fit in, so we bought puffy jackets and a Subaru when we were And you have to have one, or at least one for every season. So they have the big puffy, the medium puffy, and the skinny puffy. So, this is where Puff Daddy comes in the winters. But anyway, so my wife and I, we wanted to fit in, so we bought a Subaru. But the first problem that we found is that when you park in the parking lot, you can't figure out which Subaru is yours, because everybody has one. So we figured out that's why everybody puts stuff on top of their Subarus. They can figure out which one it was. First, I didn't think people in Bend had garages, but actually it's so you can find your Subaru in the parking lot. No, mine's one with 2 mountain bikes and a kayak on it. No, that's the one with a coffin thing and a kayak and no, that's not mine. That can't be it. No, so that's how you can figure out which one it is. But have you guys noticed in Bend, everybody has to be an overachiever? Because everybody has to be mountain biking and marathoning and Ironmanning all the time, and doing all that kind of thing. But you know, even the handicapped people are getting into it these days. Have you guys noticed that? I mean, like I saw this guy downtown Bend. He had an Outback, of course, and he had a handicap sticker on it, and he had a mountain bike and a kayak on top. So I figured either this guy's a real overachiever, or he got in a real bad accident and can't figure out how to get the stuff off the roof of his car. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming out and supporting the Humane Society.